The African sun, heavy and relentless, beats down upon the parched earth lining a wide, slow-moving river. The air is thick with the scent of dust and the distant promise of rain that may never arrive. Here, on this unforgiving stage, a drama of life and death is about to unfold. On one side stands a lone figure, a spotted hyena matriarch. She is a powerhouse of sinew and bone, her thick neck and powerful shoulders testifying to a life of conflict and survival. Her fur is matted with mud, and her intelligent eyes dart nervously, assessing the impossible situation she finds herself in. She is cornered, her back to the glittering expanse of water, a formidable barrier to any escape. Facing her is not one enemy, but a fluid, ever-moving wall of predators. A pack of more than 7 African wild dogs, their coats a unique mosaic of black, white, and ochre, have her encircled. They move with a nervous, almost joyful energy, their large, rounded ears swiveling to catch every sound. Unlike the hyena, they are built for speed and endurance, their bodies lean and athletic. There is no direct confrontation yet, just a tense, simmering standoff. The dogs are a single, coordinated mind, their movements a silent conversation of intent. They are the painted wolves of the savannah, and they have the hyena trapped between their relentless pressure and the deep, unknown dangers of the river. The matriarch is a veteran of countless battles. She has faced lions and leopards, and she has driven other hyenas from carcasses. Her size and strength are considerable, and she is not an easy target. But this is different. The wild dogs do not fight with brute force alone. They fight with intelligence and overwhelming numbers. They weave and dance just out of reach of her powerful jaws, a whirlwind of patterned fur and snapping teeth. Each dog is an individual threat, but together they are an inescapable force of nature. The hyena bares her teeth in a fearsome snarl, a guttural sound of defiance that echoes across the riverbank, but the dogs simply flow around her, tightening their circle. The tension in the air is palpable, a static charge before a lightning strike. The hyena knows she cannot hold them off forever. Her strength, while immense, is finite. The dogs, on the other hand, seem to draw energy from one another. Their yips and chirps a chorus of impending doom. They are patient predators, masters of a drawn-out siege. Every feint, every darting advance is designed to test her defenses and chip away at her stamina. The river behind her, once a source of life-giving water, now feels like a final, impassable wall. The matriarch has a choice to make, but every option seems to lead to the same grim conclusion. The wild dogs begin their assault, not with a single furious charge, but with a calculated and wearing strategy. They employ a tag-team method, a hallmark of their cooperative hunting prowess. One dog will dart in from the side, nipping at the hyena's powerful hind legs, only to retreat instantly, as another takes its place from a different angle. This is not a battle of strength against strength. It is a war of 1,000 cuts. Their goal is not to overpower the hyena in one swift move, but to exhaust her, to inflict small, irritating wounds that will drain her energy and her will to fight. The hyena is forced to constantly pivot, snapping her formidable jaws at ghosts. This harassing technique is brutally effective. The matriarch, built for powerful bursts of strength rather than sustained agility, finds herself spinning in a disorienting dance of defense. For every dog she lunges at, 2 more are snapping at her flanks. Her deep, rumbling growls are met with the high-pitched, excited chatter of the pack. The dogs are a blur of motion, their slim bodies allowing them to dodge her clumsy charges with ease. They are testing her, probing for any sign of weakness, any moment of hesitation. It is a mental battle as much as a physical one, designed to create confusion and panic in their cornered prey. The hyena's frustration is visible. She is a brawler, accustomed to decisive, bone-crushing confrontations. This relentless nipping is an insult to her power. She attempts to break through their circle, charging first one way, then another, but the pack is like water. It simply parts and flows back around her, sealing off every escape route. The dogs are tireless. their endurance legendary on the African plains. They can maintain this high-energy harassment for hours if needed, waiting for the precise moment when their target's exhaustion provides the opening they need. The matriarch is beginning to pant heavily, her movements becoming slower and more predictable. The sun continues its slow journey across the sky, intensifying the heat and the strain of the encounter. The dogs show no signs of tiring. Their strategy is a testament to their social bonds and intelligence. There is no single leader directing the attack. Each member of the pack instinctively knows its role. They move as one, a seamless unit of attack and retreat. The hyena, a solitary figure of power, is being dismantled piece by piece by the combined will of a smaller but perfectly united enemy. The dust kicked up by the frantic dance of predator and prey hangs in the still air, a hazy curtain on this desperate stage. At the heart of this conflict lies a fundamental difference in weaponry. The hyena matriarch possesses one of the most powerful bites in the animal kingdom. Her skull is a masterpiece of natural engineering, with a wide zygomatic arch anchoring massive jaw muscles. This structure allows her to exert a bone-shattering force of over 1,000 pounds per square inch. Her teeth, particularly the large conical premolars, are not designed for delicate slicing but for crushing. With a single decisive chomp, she can splinter a wildebeest's femur to access the rich marrow inside, or even break the leg of a lion in a territorial dispute. This immense power is her greatest asset, a weapon that commands respect. The wild dogs, in stark contrast, are armed with jaws built for a different purpose. Their dentition is that of a specialist carnivore designed for slicing and shearing. Their teeth are narrow and blade-like, particularly the carnassial molars in the lower jaw, which function like self-sharpening scissors. When they bite, their aim is not to crush bone, but to cut through soft tissue with devastating efficiency. They grab, pull, and tear, creating deep, bleeding wounds that quickly incapacitate their prey. This allows them to bring down animals much larger than themselves by working in concert, each dog contributing to the rapid dismemberment of the target. This difference in anatomy dictates their respective fighting styles. The hyena relies on landing one catastrophic bite, a single moment of connection that can end a fight instantly. She must get close and hold on, bringing her immense power to bear. The dogs, however, avoid this kind of grappling at all costs. They know that a single bite from the hyena could shatter their slender skulls or snap their legs. Their strategy is to stay mobile, to use their speed and agility to deliver quick, slashing bites from a safe distance. It is a contest between a heavyweight boxer and a team of nimble fencers. The standoff on the riverbank is therefore a perfect illustration of these opposing evolutionary paths. The hyena stands her ground, a fortress of bone-crushing potential, waiting for an enemy to make a fatal mistake and come within range. The wild dogs, however, refuse to play her game. They dance and weave, their slicing teeth a constant nagging threat that draws blood without risking a direct confrontation. The hyena's power is formidable, but ultimately defensive in this scenario. The dog's cooperative slicing attack is perfectly suited to breaking down that defense over time, turning the hyena's greatest strength into a static, unusable weapon. African wild dogs are Africa's most efficient hunters, but their success comes not from individual strength, but from unparalleled unity. They are the embodiment of cooperation, a tight-knit family unit where the group's survival is paramount. Each pack is typically led by a dominant alpha pair, the only ones who usually breed, but the responsibility of the hunt and the raising of pups is shared by all. Their social structure is complex and deeply ingrained, a system of support and communication that makes them formidable. This pack, harassing the hyena, is more than a group of hunters. It is a family working in perfect synchrony to protect its interests. Their appearance is as unique as their social behavior. Each wild dog is adorned with a coat of black, white, and ochre patches, a pattern so distinct that it acts like a human fingerprint. No two dogs are alike. These vibrant markings have earned them the name painted wolves, a fitting description for such visually striking animals. But beneath this beautiful exterior lies a body built for business. Long, slender legs and a lean frame are adaptations for extreme endurance, allowing them to pursue prey over vast distances, far outlasting more powerful but less stamina-driven sprinters. They are built to run their prey to utter exhaustion. The pack's cooperative nature extends far beyond the hunt. After a kill is made, a remarkable ritual of generosity unfolds. The pups are always allowed to eat first, gorging themselves on the fresh meat. Following them are the sick, injured, or elderly members of the pack, those who could not participate in the chase. Only after the most vulnerable have had their fill do the hunters themselves begin to feed. This behavior is a form of social security, ensuring that the pack's future, its young and its past, its experienced elders are protected. It is a selfless code that binds them together and ensures the pack's long-term resilience against the harsh realities of the wild. Living on the open plains means they must constantly contend with scavengers like hyenas and lions, who are always eager to steal a hard-won meal. The dogs survive by being perpetually alert, mobile, and united. They use wide, open terrain to their advantage, allowing them to spot threats from a distance. A chorus of sharp calls, chirps, and tense body postures serves as their communication system, a constant stream of information that keeps every member aware of danger. The pack facing the matriarch is not just hunting, it is defending its territory and resources from a competitor, and it is doing so with the unwavering unity that defines its very existence. The relentless assault from the painted wolves is taking its toll. The hyena matriarch, panting heavily, her flanks slick with blood from a dozen minor wounds, knows she cannot win this war of attrition. The land offers no escape. Every path is blocked by a blur of patterned fur and snapping jaws. Her powerful body, designed for dominance in close-quarters combat, is ill-suited for this prolonged balletic torment. A primal instinct, a desperate calculation for survival, takes over. Her only remaining path is the one she has been avoiding, the broad, shimmering river at her back. It is a gamble, a leap into the unknown, but it is better than certain death on the shore. With a final defiant roar aimed at the pack, she turns and crashes into the water. The initial splash is enormous, a testament to her size and desperation. The cool water offers a moment of relief from the biting flies and the searing heat, but it is a fleeting comfort. She begins to power her way through the shallows, her strong legs churning the muddy riverbed. Her hope is that the dogs, creatures of the land, will be unwilling to follow her into this alien environment. For a brief moment, it seems her gamble might pay off. The dogs hesitate on the bank, their excited yips turning to barks of frustration. But the pack's tenacity is as boundless as the savannah itself. Their pursuit is not just about a single meal, it is about eliminating a rival. Spurred on by the scent of blood and the drive of the chase, several dogs plunge into the river after her. In the shallows, the fight becomes even more chaotic. The water slows the hyena down, robbing her of her footing and stability. The dogs, lighter and more agile, are less hindered. They continue their vicious strategy, tearing at her rump and flanks as she struggles to wade deeper. The water around her begins to turn pink, a grim sign that her wounds are more significant than they first appeared. The matriarch is now in a truly desperate situation. The river, her intended sanctuary, has become a new kind of trap. She's exposed and vulnerable, her movements hampered by the clinging mud and the resistance of the water. The dogs press their advantage with brutal efficiency, their teamwork unbroken even in this unfamiliar element. She is forced to move further from the shore, into deeper water where she might be able to swim and leave the dogs behind. Every step is a struggle, a fight against the current, the mud, and the relentless pursuers at her heels. The safety of the far bank seems a world away. As the hyena matriarch pushes into the deeper, slower-moving channel of the river, the water rises to her chest, then to her powerful shoulders. Here, the wild dogs can no longer find purchase on the riverbed. They're forced to swim, and their attack, well, it loses its coordinated ferocity. A few continue to harass her, but most retreat to the shallows, barking and watching from a safer distance. A flicker of hope returns to the hyena. If she can just keep swimming, she might make it across. The current is strong, pulling her downstream, but her immense strength allows her to fight against it, inching her way toward the opposite bank. But the African river holds its own ancient secrets, its own apex predators. The hyena's struggle has not gone unnoticed. Beneath the murky surface, silent and patient, other eyes were watching. A slight ripple in the water, a subtle disturbance that is not from the current, signals a new and far more terrifying threat. Suddenly, the log-like shapes that had been drifting lazily nearby reveal their true nature. The water erupts as a massive Nile crocodile, a prehistoric relic of immense power, launches itself toward the commotion. The hyena is no longer just escaping the dogs. She has swum directly into an ambush. The sight of the crocodile sends a fresh wave of panic through the hyena. She is now caught in the ultimate trap. To her back is the pack of painted wolves, their forms clear on the riverbank, an impassable wall of teeth and endurance. In front of her and all around her are the crocodiles, their menacing snouts breaking the surface. The river is no longer a path to freedom. It is a watery cage patrolled by armored killers. The crocodiles are not harassing her. They're assessing her, waiting for the perfect moment to strike with their infamous death roll. Her desperate gamble has led her from one mortal danger straight into another. The choice she faces is stark and immediate. Stay in the water and risk being dragged under by the silent reptiles, or return to the shore and face the frenzied pack. Both options seem to lead to a brutal end. The wild dogs on the bank have fallen quiet, their attention now divided between the hyena and the new arrivals in the water. The entire scene is frozen in a moment of terrible indecision. The hyena, a symbol of resilience and power, is utterly trapped, her fate hanging by a thread between the fury of the land and the cold-blooded ambush of the river. Her survival now depends on choosing the lesser of two evils. Trapped in the center of this deadly amphitheater, the hyena matriarch makes her decision. The terror of the unseen threat beneath the surface is perhaps greater than the known enemy on the shore. The crocodiles are a force of nature she cannot fight, an ancient power that rules this river. The dogs, at least, are an enemy she understands. She has fought their kind before. In a final desperate act, she turns her back on the crocodiles, on the potential safety of the far shore, and begins to power her way back toward the bank she just fled. It is a retreat back into the jaws of the pack, but in her mind, it is the only choice she has. This decision proves to be a fatal mistake. By turning her back to the river and focusing solely on the dogs, she exposes herself completely. In that split second of turning, of committing to a direction, she is at her most vulnerable. Whether it was a lightning-fast strike from a dog that finally found its mark, or a crocodile that seized the momentary opportunity, the end is instantaneous and brutal. The article detailing this event does not specify the final blow, leaving the exact predator ambiguous. What is clear is that in that moment of turning, her defenses failed, and her life was extinguished with shocking speed. The effect on the wild dogs is immediate and startling. As soon as the hyena is killed, their frenzied energy evaporates. The hunt is over. The high-pitched yips and aggressive posturing cease. They recoil from the scene, their purpose fulfilled. There is no celebration, no immediate feasting on their fallen rival. Instead, there is a quiet, almost respectful withdrawal from the edge of the water. Their goal was the elimination of a threat, a competitor for resources, and with that objective complete, the pack's intense focus dissolves. They leave the body at the river's edge, a silent testament to the brutal efficiency of their cooperative strategy. The hyena's fate serves as a grim lesson in the unforgiving calculus of survival. She was a powerhouse, a veteran survivor armed with one of nature's most formidable weapons, but she was alone. Her decision to turn back toward the dogs was born of desperation, a choice between two equally deadly threats. In the end, it was not just the dogs or the crocodiles that killed her, but the impossible situation created by being caught between them. Her story ends abruptly on that muddy bank, a powerful individual overwhelmed by the combined forces of two very different but equally lethal types of predator. With the hyena matriarch dispatched, the wild dogs do not linger. Their behavior shifts dramatically from that of frenzied hunters to a calm, cohesive family unit. The alpha pair gathers the pack with a series of soft calls, and they move away from the river, leaving their vanquished foe behind. For the painted wolves, this was not about hunger. It was a territorial dispute, a preemptive strike against a powerful scavenger that could, and often does, steal their kills and even prey on their pups. The act was one of strategic defense for the long-term security of the pack. Their attention now turns inward, to reinforcing the social bonds that make them so successful. The dogs greet each other with chirps and whines, licking faces and wagging their tails. This post-conflict ritual is crucial for reaffirming their unity. Any tension from the hunt dissipates as they reconnect, ensuring the pack remains a single, cooperative entity. They will likely move on to hunt for a meal now, their energy focused on providing for the pups and other dependent members waiting for them elsewhere. Their world is one of sharp contrasts, from brutal, coordinated violence to gentle, communal care in a matter of moments. The abandoned body of the hyena will not go to waste. In the intricate web of the African ecosystem, death is simply a transfer of energy. The crocodiles, who may have played a role in her demise, will likely claim the carcass if it is close enough to the water. Vultures circling high above will have already taken notice and will soon descend to pick the bones clean. Jackals and other smaller scavengers will dart in for their share. The matriarch, a dominant predator in life, becomes a vital source of sustenance for countless other creatures in death. Her powerful body returned to the earth that sustained it. This event underscores the fundamental difference between the solitary strength of the hyena and the collective power of the wild dogs. The hyena, while formidable, relied on her own might. The dogs rely on each other. Their success is rooted in their social structure, their communication, and their unwavering commitment to the pack. As they disappear over the horizon, a fluid mosaic of black, white, and ochre against the setting sun, they leave behind a stark reminder. In this wild and unforgiving land, unity is not just an advantage, it is the ultimate weapon for survival. The story of the lone hyena matriarch caught between the painted wolves and the crocodiles is more than just a dramatic tale of survival. It is a profound illustration of the core principles that govern life and death on the African savanna. It highlights a timeless ecological truth. The strength of the individual, no matter how great, can be overcome by the power of the collective. The hyena was a titan of her species, a symbol of resilience and brute force, equipped with jaws that could splinter bone. Yet her solitary nature became her fatal flaw when confronted by a perfectly synchronized team. The African wild dogs, by contrast, are a living testament to the power of unity. They are not the strongest, fastest, or largest predators on the continent. A single dog would be no match for a grown hyena, but they are never alone. Their success is built upon a foundation of complex social bonds, selfless cooperation, and instinctive teamwork. From their tag-team hunting strategy to their practice of feeding the young and weak first, every aspect of their lives is geared toward the well-being of the group. This unity is what makes them Africa's most successful hunters, a force far greater than the sum of its parts. The brutal choice the hyena had to make between the known terror on the shore and the unknown horror in the water speaks volumes about the pressures of this environment. There are no easy decisions, and a single moment of hesitation or a single miscalculation can be the difference between life and death. Her final fatal turn was not a sign of foolishness, but of desperation. She was outmaneuvered not just by the dogs, but by the landscape itself, which offered no safe harbor. Her tragic end underscores the relentless and impartial nature of the wild, where even the most powerful can find themselves in a situation with no escape. Ultimately, the image that endures is that of the pack moving away as one, their job done. They are a family, a community, and an army, all in one. The death of the hyena was a harsh necessity in their world, a move to protect their future. It serves as a powerful and poignant reminder that in the great, complex drama of the natural world, connection and cooperation are often the most decisive forces of all. The lone warrior may be revered, but it is the united pack that endures, their painted coats a symbol of a bond that is, in the end, the key to survival.